Good morning, Rabbi Sai. It sounds like nobody's in the room. We're going to have to do it again. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Live from Chicago in a hotel somewhere. Chalamayid Pesach. Shir number 3 for today, and right after this, we're going to have a 4th shir. The reason we're doing this, and I have to say thank you again to Mark and all the guys behind the scenes, we want people to be able to learn extra, although it's a daf a day, but because it's Pesach, and it's very easy to fall behind, so we're doing extra shiurim so people can catch up. That's why Erev Pesach, I did 3 shiurim in English and 3 shiurim in Hebrew. That was a special story. This is also Gishmak. I always have a lot of emails, a lot. So we're going to see what we can get through real quickly. I'm going to show you. This is for you guys. This is Ari Simon's sons on vacation in Bulgaria, doing the daf. I have to read this. You're Arya Simon, exactly. Louis Coleman is here in the house, so he knows Arya very well. They do business together. Please stop calling, texting. I'm only reading this because Gershi Rose brought 63 people to Makkos. So he has the right to say whatever he wants, including this crazy thing. Please stop calling, texting while driving, shoygig, unintentional killing. That's not the legal term in any major jurisdiction. In the UK, causing death by dangerous driving is up to 14 years. USA usually charged as vehicular homicide and manslaughter, varies by state. Israel typically prosecuted as negligent homicide, in other words, death penalty. There are many bachrim in Israel. It's like in Russia. I don't know. It's a different thing over there. There are many bachrim driving during Ben Zmanim and also listening to the daf. So you have to be careful what you tell them. Okay? I don't think I said that it was okay. I just said it's shogi karvel amazing kind of thing. Dear Rebellion, I wanted to thank you and the MDY team for my new Gemara. So what we did was we sent out Gemaras to our donors. Free Gemaras, free new art scroll things. So here I got a few thank yous. This is from Dr. Mark Bergson. I was so disappointed I wasn't going to be able to get anyone to get one. I worked hard posting my status to no avail. However, last night I was so excited to open up my new Gemara. It's a tremendous joy to me to be a supporter of MDY. Like many others, it's changed my life. I'm so grateful. Thank you again. You and your family have continued blessings from all the Torah you share with the world. Dr. Mark Bergson. Over here, this person says, thank you for the new computer. I showed somebody, Elazar Kapach, got the yacht trip in Israel. This guy got a computer and he said, the first thing he did on it was to watch a shir. My husband and I have tremendous hakaras atov for what you do. Our son Yitzchak, who just turned 13 2 weeks ago, has found the sweetness in Hashem's Torah through the Daf Yomi you're teaching. Yeshua, thank you. May you be benched to always be mitzvah and spreading and learning Hashem's holy Torah in all areas in your life. Chag Sameach. MDY for life in Florida. I wonder if this is, this guy saw it there. I wonder if he's an MDY or just happened to say MDY. So I mentioned something about a beard. So this guy says you should know. This guy's, I mentioned this guy a few times. He's a taxi driver who's really a Kollel guy, but half the day he's a taxi driver. He learns it 5 times a day, 5 chazars in his car. So because of the shear, he's growing a beard and payas. So good, Gishmak. Other people are doing it for me, so I don't have to do it. Gishmak. Eliyahu Rafael from Ramat Hanan. Another one. You know what? Let me just have this for a second. Unless there's a picture. So he's explaining the joke I said yesterday, which I messed up. He said a chassid asked the Rebbe, he could only be by one, lighting the candles of Hanukkah or burning the leftovers. After Hanukkah, you have to burn everything. What's more chashuv? So the Rebbe said, of course, that by the Hasidim, the hachana for the mitzvah is more chashuv than the mitzvah itself. That's why it's better to be by Hatzlacha B'Parnasa, because that's the hachana for the mitzvah, burning the leftover, what do they call? Whatever, the burnt psilos. Because it's hachana, Avram, for Babashad, Avdalad, Mishtadel, Lo Lashlim. Here's somebody that I don't know. He does graphics, and he did one of those iPhone watches. This is geschmack. 10-year-old Ari Lazar from Baltimore, all the way from Makkos Daf Beis, steiging away. I love it on the plane. You know what the kids usually watch on the plane. And here, 2 kids, including a 2-year-old, or ever, 3-year-old, is watching together with the brother the shir. What else? I'm gonna have to cut this short because there's a lot of emails today. 33 people on Zoom, on YouTube, and growing. Thank you so much for Makkos Gemara. What a special surprise and Yontif treat. I'll cherish it just like I cherish the shir. The dedication, commitment to us is off the charts. Don't think we take it for granted. If I ever feel myself slacking, I just think about how hard you and the team work to keep the shir going, and that's all the motivation. I need to stay on the bandwagon, keep on daffing. Michael Chessel. I know you some alligator in Everglades picture is just waiting for a daf connection. No, go there and somebody help him out. He needs a guy from the daf to hang out with. Meantime, here's a picture of me and my bachar. I forgot to put it in. And my number 1 grandson, 30 years apart, on the same official MDY Harley. Is it really the same Harley? I saw the picture. It looks slightly different. I posted it on the official Sanhedrin group. It felt weird to watch the shiurim for Shabbos and Yontif before and after Yontif. I know, it feels weird. It's got to do one a day. I guess that's how you know that Daf Yomi is a habit. When one day of not listening to the shir, what did you do, Louis? How do you...
I'm a couple behind.
Oh, because it's too weird for you to do more than 2. Shlomo's doing it like in between.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I think he's still doing it right now.
Keep it up.
It's good. I picked the Gemara, learned the daf on those days. The shiurim for those days were watched before or after. Thanks for inspiring us to pick up a Gemara daily. So yeah, it's a good idea to learn on Yontif also, even if you're going to do 2 shiurim in one day before.
I just got your favorite joke. That's how far behind I am.
Oh, the one with the Mexican, which is not Mexican today. So
You know what was your favorite joke?
it's one of my favorite. Yeah.
I told her she's trying to
Is it good? Is it good or is it just me? It's in my head. I love
it. Shouldn't be your favorite joke.
the Makkos Gemaras within the course are fantastic. It's really geared for those learners such as myself and need a little system reading comprehension. Well done, no tie. Oh, my boys are here. This has video. This has audio. Mark, give me some audio, please.
Good morning, Rebelli. We're on the way into Universal Studios here in Orlando. I just told my whole family before we go into the gate, we cannot check in until we finish the daf. So we're standing outside. We're about to check in by the gate. I just told everybody before we go in, we have to finish the daf. Okay? Good morning, Rabbi Isai.
Oh, I forgot. We got to do sponsorships. This is terrible. Okay. I don't know where you are and what your situation is, but this is a reminder for Sfira. It could be all sorts of days. It could be 4. It could be something else. It could be even later than that. So it's just a reminder. Refuah had more vishness. Okay.
You could give him the trick that every day is the day. And Yom Sheni is Sheni. So.
Oh, you mean?
Today.
Yeah, but it says a different number on the screen. This is because we're ahead now. We're ahead. We're doing tomorrow's.
But wherever you are.
Wherever you are. Okay, but somebody might be doing 2 daf today. There's people in New York doing it right now. Here we have only 30 people on YouTube. Okay. mesechta. Hold on. He's watching.
You listen right now. He said enjoy the daf.
Yishmak. Hi, Ari. mesechta sponsors anonymous. Hatzlacha B'Parnasa. Tell your wife to come take you already. You spoke too much. Yisroel Cherns, in honor of my chavrisa, I love this, my chavrisa, chavrisa, chavrisa Shmueli Unger, Szlafrok Family, in memory of their uncle Simmy Schaer and Simcha Yisrael, Naftali Tzvi A, the Shalom Anonymous. May our learning bring us closer to one another in Hashem. Monthly sponsors, Hatzlacha B'Parnasa. What's your name again? Remind me. Ari Freeman from Lakewood. Drove in 45 minutes from the Chicago community to our secret hotel hideout. Birevach for Baruch. Somebody sent us a card. It arrived on Shabbos, and my wife, she didn't know what to make of it. She wasn't sure if it was a threatening card, if it was a nice card. The whole yontif she was handling. It said like Hashem should bless you, whatever, but nobody signed their name. So if you sent us a card, please let us know. It'll be gishmak. It would save my wife some aggravation, I guess. Birevach for Baruch, Nissim ben Shoshana Leah, Yoni Klestzick, Refuah Shelamah, Yehudit Brayna Bastipari Rivka. Parnasa Chodesh for the month, the Kollel. Thank you to Rebbe Eli's wife I just spoke about, and kids for the great sacrifice they make, allowing to spread Torah to the masses. I mean, I had to schlep them 3 times to Park City. My son-in-law is here now. So it was that was a big... Hello, I'm trying to give a shear over here, Mark. Thank you.
Eli, maybe one day you'll ski with your kids instead of snowboard.
It doesn't matter what I do. He ditched me. He's too hard to ski with. I'm done going that fast. I have to make sure my hip stays in place. I'm at that age. Where am I going here? MDY Kids Monthly. Let me handle this, Mark. Weekly sponsor anonymous in honor of my first completed mesechta doing Daf Yomi. MDY Kids Monthly Kidnovations. For official and Kiva, Rivki, and Mrs. Stefansky. R the month Refuah Shelamah for Yoni Klestzick in honor of Yossi Kleiner and Mark Ashkenazi for the work they do. Okay, what do you want to show me, Mark? I'm ready to watch what you have to say. Oh, 10,000 people are saying they sent the card. I need names. I need proof. If you sent the card, what was on the card? Only the people in the hotel know what it was. Okay, we're holding on Daf Yomi Amud Beis all the way on the bottom of the last line. I have a riddle. How is it possible that you wore tefillin of a Gadol Adar and they're in perfect condition, nothing changed with the tefillin? The Gadol Adar was Yaitza, the mitzvah, and you're not Yaitza, the mitzvah of tefillin. How's it possible?
Stolen.
So how was the Gadol Yaitza with it?
Because he was at the point where he could put on Rabbeinu Tam, you're not there yet. If you put only Rabbeinu Tam, it's a problem.
Oh, he lived in the generation of Rabbeinu Tam, you're saying?
Possible, it was good for him.
I hear. So it's not a bad answer. It's actually a good answer. What?
He said he didn't want it else to use it.
Also an interesting answer. Okay, not that. The actual tefillin is good for him and not good for you. It's like what Rebbe Lewis Kollel is trying to say over here. Daf Yomi Amud Beis, last words. Why is this parsha of, we're talking about, we're in a sugya of somebody that kills somebody b'shoigeg, inadvertently? Why is it said in a very strong language? B'loshen aza. D'chsiv vayidaber Hashem el Yisroel leimar. Daber el b'nei Yisrael leimar. Daber is very, very strong. Tnu lachem es ari hamiklat asher dibarti aleichem. Should build these ari miklat. Says the Gemara, because the lashon daber is very strong. Because this is the only mitzvah in Yehoshua that's brought down in the Torah. The mitzvah of building your miklat. So it's said in that lashon. As the Gemara Lememir called Hebrew lashon kasher, so you're telling me that anytime it says the word daber, it's very strong. Yes, k'dechsiv. Diber ish adonai haaretz itanu kasher is when the brothers came back and said Yosef. They didn't know it was Yosef. They said the man spoke very tough with us. Diber it's a very strong language. Batanya nidberu ein nidberu lashon nachas. The word nidberu is calm. B'cheinu oimer yadber amim tachtenu. Lead us, the nations under us. So you can come, Barry. It's okay. I know you're worried. If you come 2-3 times, you'll be stuck for life. I get it.
I'll catch it.
Sei gesund. Thanks for visiting. You're right. The word yadber is benachas. It's nice and easy. But diber is very strong. Yadber and diber, the Gemara thought is the same word. It's the same shirish. No, it's 2 different words. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually use a very strong language with the Yeshua? Because it's a lashon of shaha. Shihem and shah is the same language. It means that Yeshua didn't take action right away. He dragged his feet, so to speak. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said it was very tough with him. No, nothing to do with that. It's just to say this is a mitzvah in the Torah. Yeshua wrote down these words. Now the question is, where did Yeshua write these words? It could either be in Sefer Yehoshua, or it could be in the Sefer Torah, in the end of the Torah, the last 8 psukim. The last 8 psukim, the famous Gemara, was it Moshe Rabbeinu that wrote it, and he didn't know what he was writing because it's not nice. It says that Moshe Rabbeinu died. So how could he write it about himself? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu was ma'arvavit, I don't remember the lashon, something like Irbuv, Irbuvia, and the Vilna Gaon explains that it might have been the same letters, just like a puzzle. Like everything was, there's no periods, there's no beginning and end, and he didn't understand what he was writing. He just wrote it, and then later on, Yeshua separated and made it into words. That's one shot. But according to this man, the Omar, no, Yeshua wrote it. No, these are the psukim in Yeshua that discuss the Ram Miklat. That's why it says that these psukim are in the Torah of Hashem. Why does it say it's in the Sefer Torah when in the Torah, when in fact it's not the Torah, it's the Navi? Says Yeshua repeated what's inside the Torah. That's why it's called Torah Zelikim. It's in the Navi, but he took it from, the source is in the Torah. Now the Gemara says, it's a whole new sugya here. Sefer Shetfari Bepishtan. Here, a boy said, a short video. There's a tefillin, he's sewing the tefillin with sinews, with gidim. Like veins, sinews of an animal. That's how they sew it. So the Gemara's question is, what happens if you take a Sefer Torah like this, and you, instead of using the sinews that you use on tefillin, you use pishtan, flax. So we have a machlokes Pligi Bar Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Meir. Chadar Mekasher, Chadar Mepasel. Once it's kasher, once it's pasel. What's the machlokes? Leman Mepasel D'chsiv Leman Tia Torah Hashem Beficha. Gishmak. Here it is. Okay. Not this one. I want to show you this one. Did the video go on YouTube? Okay, shaking said yes, thank you. I wasn't paying attention, sorry, thanks. So this is a pasuk. Look what it says in the pasuk so you understand what is going on here. What's the pasuk talking about? Tefillin. And what does it say in the pasuk? The Torah. So we have a hekesh between Torah and Tefillin in the same pasuk. So we have a hekesh to Tefillin. Right? So when we're learning Hilchas Tefillin, we're learning in Menachos and different places, this idea that, how do we know? It doesn't say anything in the Torah about how tefillin should look, what shape, what color, all these halachas. There are many halachas that are halach l'mishum mesina in tefillin. They have to be perfectly square. They have to be 4 boxes in the shalroish, 1 box in the shalyad. All these different things. Yet if you go to Ethiopia and you find the pair of tefillin, and you find the pair of tefillin in France, and you find the pair of tefillin in New York, they're very similar. They're almost identical. So, just to say that we have a tradition that goes and it spans the world, in Africa, wherever Jews live, our tefillin, you never find round tefillin. You never find, but it's all halacha l'moshe mesina. So one of the halacha l'moshe mesina is our l'tafrim begidin. You have to use sinews to sew it. I know a lot of people, I think, my tefillin now, my soifer gave me a gid so I could get that kesher. You're supposed to have the knot of the tefillin sheyat touching the bias. There shouldn't be any space at all. I don't know if everybody knows that. In case some people don't know it, it's a good idea to tie it with use a gid. It looks like a string, looks like a fishing string, and you just tie it, and then the kesher is always touching the bias, and that's good. So Meila afkol tavrim gidim. If tefillin you have to use the gidim, so too Sefer Torah. Vidach kitkash lemuta bepicha. The only hekesh we use between tefillin and the Sefer Torah is that it should be hide that you could eat, an animal you could eat. But other halachas to use sinews to to sew it up, the different pages. How do we sew the page to the page, right? It's a whole, in this video you saw, they bend it over and they use they do use sinews, I guess, but you don't have to. Says Rav, Omer Rav, Chazinalu l'tfilin de bechavivi de tfir bekitana. Meir, you're gonna like this. Did you know, if you came just for this, I showed it, I think, already in Makkos, pretty sure. But Rav, the Gadol Adar, his father and his mother were both a brother and a sister of Rav Chia. Rav Chia was in the middle. He had a brother, and Rav Chia had a sister, and they both married each other, and they had the Gadol Adar named Rav. How? You see in the chart here, Ravach Mikafri was Rav Chia's father. Bekitzer, see, from his father he had a brother, and from his mother he had a sister, but they weren't related, the brother and the sister. Al Kol Panim, that's why he calls him Chavivi, my uncle, my beloved. Rav says, I saw the tefillin of the Vei Chavivi, of my beloved, my uncle Rav Chia, the tefirah b'kitana. It's actually sewn with flax, not with a gid. It says, Gemara v'lei silchas hakavosei. And the halacha is not like Reb Chia. So here's the question. Did Reb Chia not, his entire life, he wasn't yotze mitzvah tefillin? I believe he was. And l'chayra, this is where you say that the halacha goes by what Chachamim established in that generation. Today we have the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch was accepted by Klal Yisrael. That's the halacha. We can't go and do against the Shulchan Aruch. But in the time of Reb Chia held he could use flax. V'lei silchas hakavosei is saying that in the later generation, the Chacham Paskin, you cannot use flax. So from that point on, if you use the tefillin, you're not yotze. But beforehand, you are yotze. So Louis Kolm was right in a way. In the time of Rabbeinu Tam, maybe Rabbeinu Tam was the halacha, or whatever it is. Not really, because Rashi came before him, but let's just say. But at a certain point when Klal Yisrael, the Gdolei HaPoskim said, this is the tefillin that we're using, and not the other one, so that's it. You cannot use Rabbeinu Tam. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about Rabbeinu Tam, it's just a mashal. So later on, they said that you cannot use flax. That's it. You can't use flax. So that was my riddle. How is it possible that Reb Chia was a Gadol Adar? Gadol Adar used this tefillin, he was yotze. But the following generation by Rav, you can't be yotze with it anymore because the halacha changed. Says, by the way, I have a big taina over here on Art Scroll. I just want to put it into the department of tainas. I know that Makkos is their first mesechta that they made. I'm pretty sure. But I'm asking, it's too late, but if they could do it over again, there shouldn't be 7 pages of notes on one Amud, and not 8. They have a 7 and an 8er. On Yud Aleph is 13 or 14 notes. There's some people like myself, I like to look through a lot of the notes to make sure that I'm up on what's going on. It's so difficult. Please, I'm begging you. The worst is Yud Beis Amud Beis is a small Amud, which usually has 3 notes, 3 pages, and they put a 7 or an 8. I don't know what they did over there. Crazy. Anyway, just trying to vent here. If anybody there's nothing you can do. I mean, it's our school. It's all printed. It's done. But if they would listen to me, they would limit it. You got to limit it to 3, 4 pages. That's it. Okay, Zok the Gemara. I mean, you could put in raid from today to tomorrow. You can make each daf 40 pages if you want to do notes like that. I'm saying notes that are Negel Maisa. Okay. Chas v'shalom, not to knock any of the huge Talmid Chacham that wrote the Art Scroll. I'm just throwing out a hara. Stam, for no reason. I'm a Kafik Taiv. I love all Art Scrolls. Hebrew, English, whatever it is. Says the Gemara. The Mishnah. Echad mishuach b'shemen hamishcha ve'echad hamiru b'begadim. Okay, so here's the Kohen Gadol's begadim, right? If any Kohen Gadol who wears the Shmoyne begadim dies, that's it. Ir Miklat is over. All these people that went to Golos, they go home. But the Mishnah is saying that certainly if the Kohen Gadol got meshicha with the special oil from Moshe Rabbeinu until it was destroyed, put away. And even after that generation where it stopped, Kohen Gadol that just wears the Eid Gadol without the meshicha, also if he dies, he has the ability to release the murderers, the roitzchim, b'shaygi. Ve'echad sha'avar memishichusai, and you had a Kohen Gadol who stepped in, let's say for a few days, when the real Kohen Gadol, he was sick or he was tamei, so somebody steps in for him. So he was in there so this is great. Now, instead of one Kohen Gadol dying, releasing everybody, now you have two. Whoever dies first releases all the killers. They go back. They go home. So again, a guy kills somebody inadvertently, b'shaygi. He must go to one of the 48 Arim Mikla. We said 42 plus 6. He lives there forever and ever. We're going to see on Amud Beis. No weddings, no levayas, no meetings, no eidos, nothing. You're stuck in there forever. You can never leave. It's usher to leave until the Kohen Gadol dies. Who? Either the real Kohen Gadol that has Mashiach, or for later generations without Mashiach, or even a Kohen Gadol that stepped in for a few days. You go loose. So I showed this once. So I think somebody was once upset about this. I got to show it to you again. I'm not chas v'shalom comparing this Kohen Mashiach, but just to bring it to terms in our generation. You remember October 7th, especially if you lived in Yisroel, a lot of fear, and when the soldiers were about to go into Gaza, there's so much fear. Who knows how many people are going to die on day one? You don't know all these bombs that they planted. Nobody knows. It's done now. Okay, a lot died. 300 and something. It was a lot. One a day, a lot. But people thought that on day one, in Lebanon, 100 died in one day. Whatever it was, who knows what could. So that being said, you have here a guy here. We need some audio, Mark. Here's a general. The day they're going in, it's very emotional because he knows that he might lose soldiers, and he probably did. He goes in and he says the psukim that this kohen right over here used to say. There's a special kohen that used to give a bracha to Klal Yisrael as they went to war. Again, I'm not comparing. I don't want to hear emails, chas v'shalom, the IDF, how dare you, Zionists, this, that. I'm just saying this is something similar in our days. They're saying the psukim here.
אתה ציוויתנו בתורתך לאמור, שמע ישראל, אתם קרבים אלינו למלחמה אויביכם, אל ירח לבבכם, אל תיראו, אל תחפזו ואל תארצו מפניהם, כי אדוני אלוהיכם הולך עמכם להילחם עמכם אויביכם להושיע אתכם. ועתה הנה אויביך יהמהו, משנאיך נשאו ראש, עמך יערימו סוד, ויתייעצו על צפונך. יהיה נא עם חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל, וכי עמך הקרבים היום למלחמה, על אויביהם. חזקנו ואמצנו, חיבה את יריבינו, לחם את לוחמינו. החזק מגן וצינה וקומה, ועזרת לנו ופדנו מען חסדך. אלוהי שיתמו כגלגל, כקש לפני רוח, קש תבער יער, וכלבת לעת הרים. אדוני יושיענה, אדוני יושיענה.
The head kohen, he's not a kohen gadol, but he's the one that brings them into the war, and he blows the shofar and he gives them these psukim. If he dies, then all the roitzchim come out of the Ir Miklat. The Fichach, this is the famous Mishnah. The mothers of the kohanim give food to the people in the Ir Miklat and clothing. Kidei shelo yispalu al b'neim sheyamusu. There's a siren right now as we speak in Ramat Bet Shemesh. Wow. The fear, it's the middle of the night. It's the middle of the night, so 4 o'clock in the morning, I was saying, woo! I don't want to make that sound. It's a terrible sound, terrible. Got to mention the first time my wife heard it, she ran right into a wall. Right into a wall. Knocked herself out. I'm serious. She lost it. It was the middle of the night. She ran. She went to get my kid, and I don't know if I said it in share. Maybe I shouldn't have said it. But time has passed. She ran. She panicked. Into the wall, head into the wall, down on the floor. Yeah, it's fear. It's fear. She was shaking for who knows how long afterwards. But now you get used to it. But Baruch Hashem, these chutis, they did a lot of chesed with us. The Balimidas, they only shoot those missiles during the day. Now it's the middle of the night in Israel. Is it? What time is it now? Oh, it's okay. It's better than 4. Trust me. It's still okay. Ooh. So, wow. I got to show you this. This is a beautiful picture that Yoshi did. All with AI, but to get to this level of it's unbelievable here. This is him putting on the Shmueli Unger. It's unbelievable. We're gonna have a lot of fun in Zvachim and Nakkos. You can see the tzitz on the table. I just noticed it now. Where could I go? Oh, here. That's the tzitz. The detail, it's unbelievable. It's not, you and I cannot get a picture like this, of this quality. You have to be an artist, of v'chula, and all the prompts, and it's a lot of work. Okay. Anyway, I'm saying nobody should make, it's AI, big deal. It's chashiv. So, what's going on here with this? Kadesh le'ispalu al b'neim sheyimusu. So, I have my favorite joke. I have one of my favorite vartim. I've said it many times. I got to say it again, especially for the new people. When did you start with us?
So I started Sanhedrin. I started before, but right here and there instead of watching.
Shmak. Sanhedrin. So you probably heard this in Sanhedrin. But the people in Makkos didn't hear this. I think it's a very, very important Yisod. I know that Shlomo knows this Yisod inside out. But I'll say it quicker than I usually say it, but it's a Yisod. It says that every year, Klal Yisrael in the Midbar for 40 years, they had to dig from the Meraglim, they had to dig graves. Everybody went into a grave, 600,000 graves, they went in, and they woke up the next morning, and every year, 15,000 people stayed in the grave. They died. Every year, another 15,000, they would dig the graves on Tisha B'Av, and do the whole thing. The final year, there's only 15,000 people left. They go into the grave, and they know that's it, it's over, and they don't die. They have two B'Av. So the question is, why didn't they die? The answer is because they davened really well. So the question is, well, what do you mean they davened really well? Every year they davened. Nobody wants to die. Every year they davened. And the answer is Mardik, and it's the Yisod and Tefillah. The answer is because they davened to a whole new level. When it's the year before and there's 30,000 people left, it's 15, you daven like crazy, but not 100%. You daven 97%. Why? Because in the back of your mind, you're hoping there's going to be the other 15,000. You're not going to be part of them. Hashem is going to save you. Look, you made it through the whole thing. What on the last year? It's going to be them. But on the final year, when you know you have no choice, you're dead because there's only 15,000 people left, and every year 15,000 people die. It's another type of tefillah. It's a tefillah that it's a perfect tefillah, if there's such a thing. Oh, so if that's the yesod of tefillah, so that's maybe pshat over here. The question is, so what if she got me a little pizza and a calzone? So because of that, I'm not going to daven that her son is going to die? I need to get out of here. My life is terrible. I'm here for 30 years already. I want to go home. So she gave me some food. The answer is perhaps that food takes off the edge. All it needs to do is take off the edge. It's no longer a 100% tefillah. It's only a 97er. A 97er we can deal with. Her son won't die. In order for her son to die, it has to be 100% from the heart, 100%. And a little calzone will take off from the 100. Minani Mili. I think it's emes because I thought of this pshat And then Rabbi Yochim sent me that he thinks this is the pshat, and my chavrisa was asking. Okay, so I think it's a good pshat. Menani Omer Rav Kahana, the Omer Kravi Yoshav Ba Ad Moisa Kohen Gadol. So there's 3 psukim that say Kohen Gadol, so we know the 3 Kohen Gadol's in this Mishnah. We have a 4th one, which is Rabbi Yehuda, that says not even a Kohen Gadol, the Meshuach Mulchama. It's a 4th. What are the 3 psukim? Yoshav Ad Moisa Kohen Gadol, Yuksiv, Kibi Meklad Yeshav Ad Moisa Kohen Gadol, Yuksiv Achim Moisa Kohen Gadol. Oh, and Rabbi Yehuda says even the Meshuach Mulchama, where does he get it? This pasuk is a 4th pasuk. Ksiv Kurachrina, Lashav L'Shem is Beretz Ad Moisa Kohen. So 4th pasuk. V'edach. Oh, there's a 4th pasuk. How come you don't say Meshuach Mulchama? Middle like Ksiv Gadol. It only says Kohen. It doesn't say Kohen Gadol. So Chad Mahanachu. This pasuk is referring to one of the other 3, but it's not a 4th one. The mothers of the Kohanim bring food. Time of the limit matzlo. It's because, so either we're going to be goyres that they don't daven or they do daven. Same, we'll see. Time of the limit matzlo maisi. Seems like if these reitzchim daven that the Kohen Gadol should die, the Kohen Gadol would die. It's a false swearing. It's for nothing. What do you mean? I daven that Reuven should die. Hashem will listen to me. Sometimes Ahu Saba, Taisa says, is Eliyahu Navi. Not sure that over here it applies because he said Eliyahu Navi. You wouldn't say I heard it from Rava. But either way, some older person said it. Al-Doiran. They should have, the problem with the Kohen is that he should have davened for his generation. When you don't daven for your generation, bad things happen. That they should daven that the Kohen Gadol, the first pshat is that they shouldn't daven that the Kohen Gadol should die. Now they should daven that he shouldn't die. Is it a positive or a negative? Negative. They shouldn't daven or they should daven. The tefillah is though that they shouldn't die. Time of the matzu. That's only because they daven for the Kohen Gadol they should live. What? If they don't daven for him, he's going to die. What should the Kohen Gadol do? In Bavel they say, it was a story, says Rashi, that Tovia did something bad. True story. Zigud comes to the best and he wants to testify. I say, we can't accept your this. You're 1. You need 2. So Zigud cursed him. So they said, oh, you cursed somebody? Get over here. He got the Malchus. So he said, it's not fair. I came to say that Tuvia is a bad guy, and at the end I get punished. Hasam Amri in Eretz Yisrael, I love this one. Shechem Nosiv. The famous story was Shechem and Dinah. What happened? He wants to marry Dinah, so Shimon Levi say everybody has to have a bris milah. So there's a smart guy there, Mavgai. His name was Mavgai. So he had a good taina. He goes, Shechem is getting to marry Dinah, and I have to have a bris milah? What do I gain from it? That's what he says. Shechem Nosiv, Mavgai Nazir. I also Gozir, and Mavgai Gozir, and he has to chop away, make a bris milah. Gozir means to cut. When I read it, I burst out laughing to myself. Hope nobody's watching. He's getting married, and I have to suffer. Anyway, so that's the whole nekuda over here. In other words, this guy did an avera, he killed somebody in a car accident or whatever, and the Kohen Gadol is going to die. What connection does it have to me? He should die, not me. So the Hausab comes and explains, I heard from Rav, it's his fault because he should have davened for his generation. A tzaddik davens for his generation to save them from Ritzicha, from Arayis, from Avodah Zarah, from all the big things. Says the Gemara story, there's a person, Minei, the Rabbi Shua Levi, there's a person who was eaten by a lion, 300 parsas from Rabbi Shua Levi, and Eliyahu Hanavi didn't talk to him for 3 days. Does anybody remember where we had this story that Eliyahu Hanavi didn't speak to somebody for 3 days? Yeah.
I don't remember the whole story, but he went to hide, because of the rain.
I'll remind you the story. It's a gewaltige story. Rabbi Yossi said that Eliyahu Hanavi is a captain. He's very strict.
And he said, "Oh, all right, you're a captain."
Exactly. Right. No, I said no. It's a thing for all Eliyahs. Probably somebody said, I forgot who. Somebody said the morals. It's all Eliyahs. It was Gevaldik Gemaisa that what? That Rabbi Yossi said in Shir, Eliyahu Hanavi is a captain. So all of a sudden, Eliyahu Hanavi didn't come learn with him for 3 days. So when he showed up, he says, "Why didn't you come?" He says, "You call me a captain in Shir." He says, "Look, you are a captain. You just didn't show up for 3. You just punished me on the spot. It's a right." Anyways, 3 days, Mamish at the end of Sanhedrin. There's a famous story with Moshe Feinstein, Zechroin. He was in his house and there's a commotion outside, and they come in and they said, Rebbe, a young kid was just killed by a car, a young kid. So he says, not true. So what do you mean not true? Hatzalah, he's dead. No, not true. Kitzer, what happened was that the kid that got killed wasn't a yid, and there was like a yarmulke, like some kids yarmulke fell. They thought it was a yid. Turns out it wasn't a yid. So they asked Moshe, "Well, you have Ruach HaKodesh?" He said, "No." And he said, "I'm learning Be'iyun over here, not to knock all the Daf Yomi people, but he says I'm learning Torah Be'iyun Ba'amelos. It's impossible that a Jewish kid is killed right over here where I'm learning. That's the Gemara over here. You have a gadol that's learning. It's impossible that such a tzara of a lion should happen. A lion killing a person." We just did a little research because we're talking about I was telling, who was it? Telling that, Shmuel Unger. I said, how many people, what's the most dangerous, we always go through this, what's the most dangerous animal in the safari? Lion. No. Lion only kills 200 people a year in Africa. But the hippopotamus kills, I think, almost 2,000. 2,000 people a year, or something crazy. 800, I don't remember which one is 800. One is 800, much more than the lion. No, that's the rhinoceros. I think it's people like trying to swim or on a little boat. They go into the territory, they kill them.
Is there hippopotamuses on this safari trip?
Yeah, of course. But you don't go close to them. Where we were in this place, very close to it. They took me for my 50th birthday, Noam and Avi. So where we were, we heard hippopotamus the entire night. You were also? No, you hear them going, they make these, they're very loud. Anyway, they're not going to kill you. You stay away. You're with a guide, so they don't let you get out of the Jeep next to them. They show you here in this pond, there's a bunch of them. They're not as fast as a truck, but if you get out and you think they're big and they can't move, they can run you down. They're faster than human beings. Omer Rav Yudam Rav, Kilas Chacham Afilu B'Chinam Iba. So here we have a whole sugya. It's Mamish Agadta, Rabbi say, more Agadta. The curse of a Chacham, even for no reason, will happen. In other words, you don't want to hear a curse from a Talmid Chacham, even if you try to do everything to prevent it. At the end, it will happen. Machi Teufel. See this from Machi Teufel. Shemshashakar David Shitin Kafet Haima. When David HaMelech dug the foundations of the Beis HaMikdash, then the Kafet Haima, by the Mishtefei La'alma. So there's a Mordecai Rashi over here. Let's just see where it is. What is this? Ariel Mill of editing, pausing for the Azakah. Oh, protecting his precious son. This is Ariel, okay. And what else? What's this? Regards to Lewis, Black Sea Daffing. That was it. Okay, Givaldik, that's his son. Shviktana guy, I believe, who's doing the daf. Oh, I have to show this video before I forget. Okay, Rabbi Sai, I need some volume over here. You starve yourself like the Bochurim in the yeshivas in Europe.
Hey, check this out.
Come on, let's go. Hey there, the Kohen Gadol's mother sent you guys a pizza.
Oh, wow, cool.
It's not about Naomi, It's about the yummy.
Yum.
Okay. So Rashi says over here, Kafat Tahima, Tzafat Tahima B'Gmaras Yerushalmi, it says, Shemotza Shem Cheres. He's digging the foundation and he finds a piece of shard. Shigbi a Kollel, and this piece of cheres starts talking to David HaMelech. V'amar lo, al tetleni mikan, don't remove me. Shani kovesh al hatahim, I'm forcing the waters to stay there. Miyoy matan Torah sherada kol haaretz v'shama David dvar v'nata. He didn't listen to him. He ignored this shard, and that's why this is what happened. Rabbi said, check this out. This is a beauty. Check this out. He's digging foundations over here. Tsunami. Anyways, it was gonna wipe out the world. I don't remember ever having 46 minutes on Amud Aleph like this. This is crazy. We gotta move. Could I write Hashem's name on another piece of shard and put it in there and stop the waters? What's the shaila? Maybe Hashem's name will be erased, and you know how to erase Hashem's name. Everybody asks, but it's sakonas nefashos. Of course he could. Nobody answered. Omar. So now he cursed. If somebody knows the answer to this and he doesn't tell me, he should choke in his neck. Achitophel was David HaMelech's Rebbe. Omar, so I'm not going to show you this whole thing. I can't. There's way too much going on here. I was going to show the whole thing, but what? Oh, you see that? Perfect timing. You put Hashem's name into the water and it dissolves Hashem's name, so you let him erase Hashem's name. And here she blew up. Poof. Wow, it was perfect timing. 47 people on YouTube. Good Vach, everybody. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. So if Hashem allowed his name to be raised just for one couple, for Shalom, to save the whole world, so Achitophel told David HaMelech, you're allowed to. He wrote it down, he threw it into the how do you say tahim in English? Something like that, the depths. Nochas v'kama and the water stopped immediately and finished. But even so, even though Achitophel told him the answer, it says by Avshalom he saw he wanted to overthrow David HaMelech. With Avshalom he saw that it didn't work out. He gave everybody a tzava. He says he's about to die, and he committed suicide. So you see that David HaMelech's curse worked. Even if there's a condition, it will come at them. From Eli they call Eli whatever the curse that happened to me, that my kids went off the derech and everything, that should happen to you. If you don't tell me. Even though Shmuel didn't hold back anything from me, he told him everything. His sons went off. Daf Yomi Amud Beis, where we are 10 daf into mesechta Makkos. Turning of the daf, sponsored by Adar Global, is listening now live with his son in Bulgaria. One-stop shop for all your financial needs. You heard Louis Combs say, "Oh, that's my area. Yeah. I do business with him." Kidnovations in honor of our sons, Kalmo and Yisroel, for learning Sanhedrin and Makkos with Rebelli, in honor of our global and Kidnovations through role models for how to support the daf and learning. That's what we call a sponsorship advertisement in the middle. Oh, I have Yishkoyach.
Bedrock.
What?
Bedrock.
What's bedrock? No. Bedrock is the depths. You're right, it's the depths. I thought there's a better word. We have to fly. If a person is put into cherim, into nidui, then it needs a special afara. Taisa says we're only talking about something that you can't control. Something you could control, this is not neged to, because the whole story with Yehuda is not in his control. We see this from Yehuda T'chsiv. He He tells Yaakov Avinu, if I don't bring Binyamin back to you, this is what's going to happen to me. It's going to be a neither from Olam Haba. What's going on here? All the 40 years that Klal Yisrael was in the desert, his bones were just in a big pile. Moshe Rabbeinu begged for him. With the sin of Reuven that he switched the beds with Yaakov Avinu and Bilhah, the whole thing, who caused Reuven to admit his guilt? Yehuda. The famous story with Yehuda and Tamar. Yehuda says, Tzadka mimeni, it's me. So he learned the idea of Zoisli Yehuda. It's like a question mark. And this is what happens to Yehuda. He should be in like a pile of bones. Shema Hashem kol Yehuda. All over the shafa. Yeah, okay, so all his limbs went back into their joints. And he lined up like a tzaddik. His body is whole. But the problem is, they didn't allow him into Olam Haba up there. They were learning Torah. So Moshe Rabbeinu davened vel Amud Tevienu. We got up there. Okay, he got in. He didn't understand what's flying. He didn't know how to learn. He didn't know how to go back and forth with them. Yodav Rav Loi. No, sorry. The first thing is and then it says you didn't know how to answer kashas. I wonder how many Maggid Shurim do this. I mean, it's like an urge, you can't even stop. You have to. You're a Sephardi, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So you see that Yehuda was still in Cherem, even though he did everything he could do, and he brought Binyamin back to Yaakov Avinu. You see that a nidoy, a cherem with tnai, he suffered because of that. For 40 years, his bones were in a pile. Do you need all 3 kohen gadol to die? Let's say there's 3 kohen gadol. Do you need all 3 to die? If there's one, of course, one is enough. But let's say you have 3. You have the kohen meshuach, you have the kohen, the regular kohen, you have a temporary kohen. Do you need all kohen gadol to die? Or perhaps only one is enough. And we're going to see in a second, the next Mishnah, that if the Kohen Gadol died before there was a verdict, the guy stays in there forever. But if so, one died first, so wait for the other ones to die. You see, you need all 3. No, but like it's talking about there's only one Kohen Gadol. One Kohen Gadol, he died before the verdict. It's all over. I have a riddle. How's it possible they have 3 people that had a verdict, they killed inadvertently, they killed B'shaygi. 3 people, the verdict was on the same day. They went to Bezdin, the same day, boom, there's a verdict. One of them doesn't even have to go to Gullus. One of them goes to Gullus, let's say for 50 years, and one of them goes to Gullus forever. How's it possible? So to answer that, you have to see the Mishnah. It says like this. The guy had a verdict, and they said, you have to go to Gullus. 2 minutes later, phone call. You're not going to believe it. You're the luckiest man alive. The Kohen Gadol just died. What's the halacha? He doesn't have to go to Gullus at all. He was just saved by the bell. He was saved by the death of the Kohen Gadol, even though he never made it into the Ir HaMiklat. But if the Kohen Gadol died right before the verdict, and they put a second one in command, so then the second, he has to wait until the second one dies. Oh, so right now we have an answer to 2 of the questions. That's my riddle. One guy comes in the morning and he has a verdict at 9 o'clock in the morning. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, the Kohen Gadol dies. He doesn't have to go at all. But they institute another Kohen Gadol. So he has to wait until the second Kohen Gadol dies, and that could take 50 years. So that's the answer to 2 questions. It's on the same day. But what if the third guy, he had a verdict before they brought in a new Kohen Gadol. At 11 o'clock, there was the verdict. It's after the first Kohen Gadol died, before the second Kohen Gadol was sworn in. He can never come out of the Ir Miklat. The Kohen Gadol, the Hari Kohen Gadol, and somebody kills a Kohen Gadol, the Kohen Gadol Shaharag, or a Kohen Gadol who kills, so they don't have Kohen Gadol to take them out. You hear the three cases? Somebody that had a verdict without a Kohen Gadol, somebody that kills a Kohen Gadol, and a Kohen Gadol that kills can never leave the Ir Miklat. It's a question in the I'm sure in the Dirshu test, one of these tests, you're gonna have this question. It's hard to remember three. To remember two. What are the three examples of people that never go out of the Ir Miklat? And a person cannot leave the Ir Miklat for any testimony. No weddings, no brises, no, it doesn't matter if your brother is getting married in I don't know where, in Yerushalayim, you cannot leave. Done. This moment, and even though it's a mitzvah, here, the famous pasuk, you have to testify, you know testimony, you have to go out and no, you can't leave. You can't even testify for capital cases, which is even more chomer. Yisrael needs him. Even if you're a tremendous general and Klal Yisrael needs you for the war, and you're not allowed to leave. He lives there, that's where he lives, that's where he dies. Even you can't, like in America, if a guy's on his deathbed and for the last 2 weeks they let him leave and to say goodbye to his family, not here. Nobody's leaving. The only place, and you don't even get to get buried in Bet Shemesh Beis Kfaris, you're buried over there. You don't even have to go into the city. As long as you come within 2,000 amos of the outskirts of the city, the Goyal Adam cannot kill you. You're saved. If the Ritzach leaves, he decides to leave, it reminds me like these people that are in house arrest. Very, very tough. I had it in my family, some of my very good friends. I have a friend, I'm not going to say, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He might even be still now on house arrest. He's a huge part of the shir. It's torture, Shen Kamayu, and you want to leave. And the guy is like the famous thing with the Shlomo Melech. How did he kill the one, the Vukilani Kladim Retzes? How did he kill him? I forgot his name already. Who? No. The one who cursed David HaMelech, and David HaMelech said, you take care, you do with your chachma. And he said, okay. He told him, you cannot leave Yerushalayim. And one day his sheep left Yerushalayim, and he ran after to save them, and he died, says Reb Shmuel. That was the chachma of Shlomo HaMelech. You can't tell a person, don't leave. You tell a person, you can't come out of this box, you want to come out of the box. So over here also, but once he comes out, what happens? And the relative found him. It's a mitzvah to kill him. Why is it a mitzvah? Check out this pasuk. It says in the pasuk, "V'rotzach goyal adam soritzach." It's a mitzvah to kill him. That's Rabbi Yitzhak Lili. I don't think we pass like him because Rabbi Kiva argues with him. Urishus biyad kol adam. If you're not even related, you can kill him. Rabbi Kiva Omer, no. Yeah, this is the halacha. I see a zayin here. Rishus biyad goyal adam. It's not a mitzvah if he wants to. In fact, the Chacham try to talk him out of it, right? The Chal Adam and any other person that's not related, if they kill him, chayav him alav. My taima, if the Kohen Gadol dies after the Gemar Din, why is it that he doesn't have to go to Galus? If somebody's in Galus and the Kohen Gadol dies, he can leave. And he didn't even go to Galus. Of course, he doesn't have to go. Says Gemara, what are you talking about? Maybe the opposite. Perhaps the guy that's in Galus, he did his time. Okay, so it's 3 days. He did some time. But this guy never did any time in Ir Miklat. Why should he get a kapara? Says Gemara, you think Galus is mechaper? Misa koyenu the mechaper. The misa of the kohen is what gives the kapara, not the actual being in the Ir Miklat. The Or Chaim says, very interesting, that every single person, Baruch Hu says, okay, he judges him, you need to get 2 years in Ir Miklat. You need to get 1 year. Everybody is the type of avera that he did, the shoigig. If a guy was texting and driving, according to Gershi Rose, it's minimum 14 years in Ir Miklat. If a guy, literally slipped off the ladder, it's 1 year. Each person. This just reminded me of Shimon Schwab, one of the Rabbi Schwabs Somebody came to him crying. He says, I bought an apartment, and then I just found out that my next door neighbor is selling their apartment for $100,000 cheaper. I lost a lot of money in the same exact apartment. So he says, that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. How do I know? Because you only found out about it today. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu did, each person gets what they need. Says the Gemara, how do you know that if the Kohen Gadol died and they swore another one in, or whatever they call it, that now the Galus is dependent on the second one, not on the first one? He, Moshach Oisai, who? What? The killer, he anoints him with the oil. It means the one that was anointed in the lifetime of the killer. Says Gemara, this is a great question. The second Kohen Gadol that was sworn in after he already killed and after everything, why is this guy's freedom dependent on his life? Why should people be davening that the second Kohen Gadol should die? The first one we said it was his fault. He should have davened for the tzibur. Remember, Moshe Feinstein, the whole thing. You have to daven for your, but the second one wasn't the Kohen Gadol then, so why should he daven for anything? He should have davened that he was around when there was a verdict, right before, that the verdict should come out in his favor. Amar Abai, Naktinon, Nigamar Dinoi, Umeis. What if, terrible story, it happens, I guess. There's a verdict, and out of the pressure of the verdict, he had a heart attack and died. He never made it to the Ir Miklat. They have to take his body over to there, to the Ir Miklat. In the ground. To bury him. If he dies before the Kohen Gadol died, what are we? Hour and 2 minutes. Okay. We're not so bad, but we're bad. If he dies before the Kohen Gadol dies, so in fact, we take him and we bring him to the base of Kvaras with his family. You can take him out of the Ir Miklat. In that case, since he did his time and he died before the Kohen Gadol, so that he could be buried in a regular base Kvaras. This is a phenomenal chiddush, and with this we're going to be done today. You hear this? A Kohen Gadol was accused of not being a Kohen Gadol, of not being a Kohen at all, because his father married a divorcee. So the Kohen Gadol is not a Kohen. You hear? So do we say he was never a Kohen Gadol? 3 years ago he's not a Kohen Gadol? Or from today on he's not a Kohen Gadol? What do you say? Whoa, I would say 3 years. He was never a Kohen, he was a fraud. He was a Yisrael 3 years ago. Nothing changed. He was born a Chalal. He was never a Kohen Gadol. Why from today on? Yeah.
From the time that they found out, from then on, it's going straight. But before, even though they were selling trade, it was always kosher all before.
That's what you're saying is Svara. Interesting.
Doesn't make sense.
The what?
How is it possible? You have a Kohen Gadol for 3 years. When the Kohen should be dead. It wasn't a Kohen.
Okay, so it wasn't 3 years. I exaggerated. Kasha V'Maisa. It was a half a year. Good Kasha. I don't know if they, I guess. They had, there are a lot of Kohen Gadol that they paid to get in there. They weren't legit. They just wanted to be Kohen Gadol. Listen to this. Ben Grusha oy ben Chalutza. It's like Shlomo said. From now on forward, he brought a riot from the Hechsher in Los Angeles. Somebody was selling treif, so it's from today on. And one of them says, you go retroactive. Rabboisai, have a wonderful day. Agut Mayed. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for coming, Tzaddik.